Hello, my name is Minecraft Phenom08, and this is episode 4 of my 1 Billion Iron Ingot Challenge in Minecraft 1.16. In today's episode, I'm going to be meteorite hunting, hunting meteorites from the mod Applied Energistics 2, so that I can build a new ME system from that mod. And the ME system will allow me to store items in one central location rather than in a bunch of different chests as I have right now. So let's get started. So the first thing that I should mention is that between episodes I did a little crafting. I did craft a copper jetpack from the mod Iron Jetpack. So let's take a look at what I did real fast. And actually let's just type in jetpack because these jetpacks are in tiers and I had to make a wooden jetpack first. Basically I needed a little bit of leather, iron, actually a lot of iron it turns out. And basically I made a wooden jetpack and then I made a copper jetpack. And the cool thing about these jetpacks are that they allow me to fly rather quickly as well as using energy to do so. I do have some energy and I need to actually grab my capacitor before I leave. I would like to have both my capacitors with me. But I have actually started meteorite hunting off camera and I've actually been relatively unlucky. I have 3 of the 4 presses that are kind of required to really dive into Applied Energistics. So let's take a look at those real fast. Let's just type in press. And these are the 4 presses right here. The only one I don't have is the inscriber logic press, which is actually, I would say, between it and the silicon press are the 2 most important presses. If you want to get started, you can actually get started without the calculation or engineering press. Actually, I think you can get started without the calculation press, but you kind of need the engineering press, I think. But we'll get there in terms of crafting. But yeah, so what I need to do now is I want to hunt for some meteorites. And it doesn't matter that it is nighttime. Because I can fly, so I don't have to worry about mobs too much. So let's grab my second capacitor here. And one thing we are going to have to watch out for is my energy usage. Let's go ahead and charge the other capacitor while I am away. But these do use quite a bit of energy, 85 forge energy per tick. The fast or the higher tier jetpacks use more energy per tick. I actually intended to do all of that on camera, making the jetpack and then searching for all of the meteorites. However, I kept having issues with OBS, so I actually ended up doing that off camera. But I hit a button to toggle the engine on, and these are configurable buttons in the controls. If you just go to controls here, if you scroll down, I think to Iron Jetpacks, it should be somewhere in here. Yeah, so I have these configured to be 8 and 9. There is a hover mode that I very rarely use. So what we're going to do now is we are going to look for meteorites. And actually, I have plenty of meteorites discovered at this point. One down here, one over here, one over here. I also have some waypoints from things I discovered as I was searching. So let's actually search in a westerly direction. So what this meteorite compass will do is it will point towards the nearest meteorite if there is one, and if there is not one, it will circle slowly. So I believe I've already seen that meteorite. Let's take a gander real fast. So I am pointed in kind of a west-southwesterly direction. So let's make sure, yes, that would be pointing to this meteorite right here. So we're going to travel kind of west-northwest, I think would be a good way to travel. And we're going to travel this way for quite a while. Like I said previously, I do need to keep an eye on my energy consumption because I do want to have enough energy to get back to my main base without having to walk way too far. Because flight is just so much better than having to walk or run. Okay, so let's see. How far have we made it so far? So that actually looks super interesting. Where are we? So we are kind of in uncharted territory here. I think it should still be pointing. Yeah, it's pointed at the meteorite I've already been to. So let's take a look at what this is real fast, and then I'll probably move on. So for whatever reason, when I'm exploring in Minecraft, OBS keeps crashing, but I have found another meteorite here, and it actually does contain the plate that I need. I need the logic press is the only plate that I still need, and as you can see, I have all 4 presses. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fly back to my main base, and I can do that off camera because that is going to take a while, and once I get back to my main base, I will be right back. So I made it back to my main base here with all of the plates, and I've actually gone and done most of the vanilla crafting to make an applied energistic system, but there is a little bit of crafting to go, and that involves the inscriber, for the most part anyways. So let's go ahead and see what we can do to make the inscriber. I have altered my energy system a little bit so that I have my energy cables underneath the floor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend my basic universal cable up so that I have some energy over here, and I'm going to put an inscriber right here. Now, how you make how you use these different presses, and actually let's get some materials because I do not have, or I haven't shown that yet. So I have silicon, which is made by furnacing some of the Certus quartz or nether quartz, I believe you can do as well. So how you use these presses is you insert a press into here, and each press can press out a certain a thing. So the silicon press will press out silicon into printed silicon like so, just shift click, and you can only insert one at a time, but you can use hoppers to kind of automate this. So that's how you use that. And for the logic press, for example, it would be gold. And how you make the finalized circuits here, you actually use the inscriber itself, and once again you insert the specific circuit in the top. The silicon goes in the bottom. Actually, you might even be able to reverse these, and then redstone goes in the middle, and it will form a completed circuit here. And by circuit I mean processor, because these are the circuits. And there's a diamond one, there's a gold one, and then there's a pure Certus quartz one as well, which would be the calculation press. So let's go ahead and make a few more of these, because I do have one more thing I do need to make, which is an ME terminal. The rest of the system I already have the stuff made for, and that's all for the most part vanilla crafting. So if you need to look up the recipes for any of this stuff that I will be showing here in a second, you can do that pretty easily. But I think that's all that I need the inscriber for right now, and in fact I actually want to take this away as well, because the next thing I want to do is I want to make an ME terminal, and that is pretty simple here. We're going to need one annihilation core and one of the other cores, and I'm not sure what it's called. So one annihilation core, and each recipe actually makes two, so that's cool. And then one formation core, and then I should be able to make this terminal once I get this illuminated panel made as well. So this actually makes 3 illuminated panels, which means I will have some extras for the future. So that is the ME terminal. So like I said, I won't be doing a whole lot of vanilla crafting from here on out in my plate or in my videos, but I will have most of that stuff ready. So how you make an ME system, kind of your first system, you need an energy acceptor and an ME drive, or you can use an ME chest. So let's take a look at the ME chest. It's a little bit simpler. It has one slot for your storage cells here. The ME drive has 10 slots, but the ME chest is also a terminal as well. It involves a terminal in its crafting recipe, as you can see. It's kind of the simpler route to go. You can have simply an energy acceptor and an ME chest, and that can be your ME system. But that is kind of a smaller system. So let's go ahead and install the energy acceptor. That will accept the energy that the ME system needs to run. And then the ME drive. This is where we put our storage cells, which I've already crafted one of. So this ME system won't be able to store very much, but it can store a little bit of stuff. It can store 63 types of items and not very many of them, but still a little bit. So what we need to do now is install the terminal, and for that we need a cable right here, and it can be pretty much any color we want. It just can't be a dense cable, and then we can install the ME terminal on top of that. So as we can now see, we actually have access to the ME system, and we can place things in here. So that's pretty fantastic. So let's go ahead and not put all that stuff in there, because I don't want to do that just yet. I might want to make an import bus, and I would super like to have all of this stuff imported into the system automatically, but I don't think that's really feasible today. And actually, I definitely am not going to do that right now. What I can simply do is let's throw this stuff in here, and I'll organize this later. But what I can do is basically store the stuff that I will need most over here. And I can actually upgrade this to a pattern terminal, or not a pattern terminal, a crafting terminal. And let's see if I can do that right now, because that would be useful. Basically, this would allow me to put things I need into this system and be able to craft with this system. So let's hook up the crafting terminal. I don't think it's too complicated. Okay, so we need a terminal, which we already have, obviously, a crafting table, which is obviously super easy to make, and a calculation processor. So what we can do, and we should be able to do this because we can make pure Certus quartz crystals using the enrichment chamber here. And to do that, all you need is a Certus quartz crystal and throw that into the enrichment chamber, and you get pure Certus quartz crystals. The same can be said for the Fluix crystals, and I should actually probably show how I made those because I did use some of those in the crafting recipes that I built off camera. So what you need for that are some charged Certus, some redstone, and some nether quartz in equal proportions, and you need a pool of water. So let's find a pool of water. We actually have water right here, so that shouldn't be a problem, and we just simply throw these in the water here. And they should combine. They're kind of floating away, but once they get into the same water, they will combine. And so I use 2 of each of those 3 ingredients. You get 4 for the Fluix crystals for that. Okay, so that's cool. That's how you make Fluix crystals. I definitely wanted to show that because I didn't show that on camera, and that's kind of if you've never played through Applied Energistics before, that's something that might trip you up. So let's start making the things that we need. So I do need to use the inscriber, and the inscriber can actually take energy from an ME system, so it will automatically connect up. So that is cool. I need to I have 1 printed silicon already. I have redstone here, so I just need to take a pure Certus crystal, which I have right here, and drop that in here and make it into a processor, and then we can go ahead and make that crafting terminal, which will be super useful. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And then, like I said, crafting table, let's do that while the processor is being made. Okay, there we go. Now we can go ahead and take this because we need to craft with it. And then I think this is a shapeless recipe. I could be wrong, but there is our crafting terminal, and that's going to be super useful. So let's go ahead and place that down right there. And let's see. Okay, so I should be able to put things in here and be able to craft with them. So let's see if we can do that. So let's basically get the things that we might want to craft with in the future. Pistons. Let's actually just leave that there for right now. Definitely we want some metals here. So let's grab as much of this stuff as we can and throw all of this in the system because we'll need a lot of this to craft with. And let's throw that back in there. And let's grab the rest of this, and then we can grab some of this stuff over here. Let's not grab that. Let's not grab that. And then I don't think we need any of that for right now anyways. Okay, so this turning blue rather than it was green before means there are items in it. If it turns yellow or red, that means yellow means that you cannot have any more types of items. Red means the cell is completely full of stuff and you can't insert anything more. So this cell won't be able to hold that much stuff, but I can always make more of these cells. They're not very expensive to make. So let's take a look at the recipe for those. I'm using the 1K storage cells, which are the smallest ones at this point. So to make the storage cell itself, it's just iron, some redstone, and then some quartz glass, which is just crushed quartz, which I get from this quartz grindstone over here, and glass. And I don't know why I went that way with that. And then for the storage components, you need some Certus, some redstone, and these processors here. So that's how you make storage cells. Let's go ahead and make something. So what would I like to make? I know. I want to make a centrifugal separator at some point. It's a machine that will be useful. So let's go ahead and make a compass. Let's go ahead and make, I cannot make Constantin right now. That's kind of a problem. Okay, so it's just nickel and copper. So I can actually do that in my grindstone. That's kind of a drag. I didn't realize that I needed to do that. But that's not super a problem. We can do that real quickly. And did I need 2 of those? I think I needed 2 of those gears. Yeah, so I actually need to double what I put in there. So 2 more nickel and copper. Sorry about that. I thought I was choosing something that was going to be simple and easy and useful for me to make, but apparently not so much. Okay, so this might take just a minute, unfortunately, but I think that's okay. And then we have to furnace it up, obviously, but we can work on some of the other stuff as well, because I do need to make some of the other stuff, like the machine frame and the redstone reception coil, or whatever it's called at this point. I think they've changed the name of that at some point, but it's just redstone and gold. Okay, this should be getting close to being done. Another machine I would like to make is a pulverizer from thermal expansion, or a crusher from mechanism. I could do either one. And because these machines are just going to stay at this base when I eventually move, because this is kind of a temporary base if you haven't watched my first few episodes. So it doesn't super matter which one I make. Okay, so there's that. I should be able to combine these and make Constantin. I do need to furnish that up. So let's do that. I have some Invar apparently. Okay, so let's see. The centrifugal separator. So let's make a machine frame. Do I not have glass in here? So there's a 10 gear. Okay, so I have glass somewhere over here. I knew I had some glass somewhere. Okay, so that's cool. There's the machine frame. Do I have everything else? I don't have the reception coil, or redstone flux coil. That's what they're called now. Okay, so I just need the Constantin gears, which means I need Constantin. Let's go ahead and split this up so this will cook just a little bit faster. So that's cool. This should be almost done. I'm not accustomed to how slow these furnaces are. And in fact, machines I have over here are pretty slow as well. But that's okay. I'm in early game, so it doesn't super matter. So let's go ahead and throw these in here. Let's make these gears. Should be able to make 2 of them. And then we can make the centrifugal separator. So this is obviously going to be super, super useful for me, because I don't have different inventories all over the place. I can basically place all of my useful crafting items into the ME system. I can craft with it, and it's just going to speed my process up a whole lot right now. And in the future, I will be building a much, much larger, much awesomer ME system. But this is just kind of a starter system that serves its purpose quite well. So in today's episode, I went out meteorite hunting. Unfortunately, I was interrupted by OBS crash, but that's okay. The premise is you just find meteorites, you find the 4 different presses, and then you can kind of continue along with applied energistics and building an ME system. And then I built this super simple ME system right here, but it is going to be very useful. So if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you enjoy watching automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, that's what I will be doing in the series, and that's what I've done in the past. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing if that describes you. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.